it's like a staticky,
it's more like
uncomfortable.
It's like Battlestar Galactica, not Star Wars.
There you go.
Yeah.
What would that frack?
Yeah.
You're fracking right.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I gotta watch it again.
Can't unhear it. This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best, and we're gonna talk about them ad nauseum. This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best, and we're gonna talk about them ad nauseum. This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best, and we're gonna talk about them ad nauseum. This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best, and we're gonna talk about them ad nauseum.
Yes, that. Welcome to the Backwards Beats podcast. I'm Carl Carter Fansteel.
I'm Dan Woodard.
And it's 7 degrees Fahrenheit right now.
For sure.
It's not cool. We got dumped on by so much snow and ice, as most of you did in this northeastern storm, if you're from where we are. And it didn't stop us from doing a podcast.
It did not.
In fact, I would like to think that the artist who caught our ear for this week helped us.
It warmed my heart.
Indeed. Dan's extra excited for this one.
Tumescent, as they may say.
Who are we talking about this week?
We are talking about the band Can, and we're talking about the album Ege Bamyasi.
That's pretty good. I don't know how to say that word. Or those set of words.
Say okra.
Okra. And so the album art is definitely some of the best I've seen. It is literally a picture of a 14-ounce soup can. In this case, it is a can of okra. There's a ton of raw okra on it, and the band name just says Can.
It does. And you know what okra is a really good source of?
Slime.
Vitamin C.
Same thing. There's also a little red ball, which looks like it could be a tomato.
It's probably a tomato, probably not a clamato.
A clamato. You say clamato.
Clamato.
Yeah, this is a neat piece of work. This album was released in 1972. It is 7 songs at 40 minutes.
You know what's so amazing about 1972?
What?
Me.
Oh, are you a 72 baby?
Yeah, baby.
This is your birth album?
It is.
Oh man, my birth song was like Karma Chameleon or something. I got Boy George, you got Can.
I got Can.
I'll trade you.
Yes, I do share a birthday with Barack Obama. But
oh, do you really?
I do.
That means that you have the same birthday of my father-in-law as well.
Wow. Not the same birth year, but same birthday.
Day. Yeah,
Yep.
not year. This is kind of an odd trip. This album and how it was created. Will you want to share some deets?
Yeah. So the band Can was formed in Cologne, West Germany in 1968 by Ermin Schmidt and Holger. I can't say the last name, so I'll just say Kuschke. They're students of the avant-garde composer. I will not try to say that person's name. It's a lot of.
We'll put it in the show notes.
It's a lot of consonants. And the lineup features, if you look at the classic quintet, it's Holger Kuschke, Mikhail Kuroki, Jaki Liebezeit. So Holger plays bass, Mikhail plays guitar, Jaki plays drums, Ermin Schmidt on keyboards, and on this album we have Damo Suzuki on vocals.
Awesome.
Amazing. And Jaki Liebezeit is a former jazz player. He's the drummer. He's known as the human metronome, which is interesting because he pushes and pulls time all over this album.
Intentionally.
Yes.
Because when he's grooving, he's steady as a rock.
He is. But so he knows time. I wouldn't put him in the Jeff Porcaro lineage, but he knows where he is in
There's
this space.
people who know time, and then there's people who sound precise to the point where they like say sound like the little gears are ticking.
Yeah.
He's not that. He's loose, but his time's very good.
Yes, he is. I was saying before he came on the air that I wonder if Alan Evans was inspired by him.
Alan Evans from Soul Live.
Yeah.
The New York trio. Yeah.
Banger of a drummer.
Listened to him a ton in my youth, and a lot of the same groove patterns have been shared.
Yeah, and you can see this band as a progenitor of a lot of genres.
Yeah.
They're a krautrock band. Do you know what krautrock actually stands for?
No, I've never even heard of krautrock.
So krautrock actually, I don't sprechen Sie Deutsch, but krautrock actually turns into, through translation, cosmic rock.
Okay, I thought we were talking about sauerkraut.
You are.
Okay, I'm into it.
Right.
The cosmic rock does seem very appropriate here.
It does, because this is a spacey album.
Indeed.
I wouldn't call it psychedelic, but I'd call it spacey.
I wouldn't call it psychedelic, and I'd call it spacey in a multiple space way, right? Double entendre.
Let me hear it.
Well, the use of space in the album, in the production front, quite brilliant. And then spacey as in cosmic as well.
Yeah. So they worked around with a couple of different singers, but they landed for this album on Damo Suzuki. And they discovered him outside of a Munich cafe, and he joined them on stage as, basically when they found him singing, they're like, oh, you're in the band.
Hey, follow us.
And that's what happened.
They just abducted him. They're like, yo, Suzuki, come here.
Yep. And one of the things that they tried to do really hard is they tried really hard to abandon like traditional songwriting, like tropes.
Okay.
And you'll hear that when we get through this, especially on one song, they were opting more for jam band, and you'll get that here, than rather than sculpting songs from beginning to end. And you get both of these types of music on this album, I would say.
It's funny. There's songs on this album that in my notes I literally wrote, this is just a pop song.
Until it's not.
But it's not produced at all like a pop song. The chordage and the voicings and even the instrumentation aren't things you'd hear in a pop song, but in some weird way, it's still a pop song.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So Can started out, before they had Damo on vocals, they had Malcolm Mooney on vocals. And their first album was an album called Monster Movie. It came out in 1969. And
nice.
It started, and you'll hear this, I don't know how much of Can you listen to outside of this, but they started kind of early on with drone music. And you can probably see where that comes from, specifically with the song Soup.
Yeah.
On this. And then they moved along. They played in some soundtracks. They recorded some singles before this album came out.
I was going to say, cinematic work actually may have suited them.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. So they were soundtrack artists for a number of either TV shows or short films in Germany.
Okay.
And which is really interesting because to me, this album fits as even though you'll hear later on, this album was not intended to be an entire piece of art. To me, this album fits together as a complete story from song one all the way to the end.
Dan loves an arc.
But it was not intentional. But I think their artistry just kind of made it happen.
It got there.
I
think at minimum, there's like a tension release type of thing going on throughout the course of the album that I appreciate.
Yeah. And in my mind, they're way ahead of their time. Way ahead of their time as far as the music that you're hearing.
They don't really sound like anyone. So yeah, I'll stick with that.
Yeah, not until you get to the 90s.
There's a few parallels where I think they may have beat them by a few years, but and certainly later on, and even into genres that are not anything like this. I'm looking at you, electronica, everything.
Right. Sure, you'll get some Edgar Winter's group.
Yep, there you go.
Things like that. in here. There's this is where Frankenstein came from.
And there's like Zappa-esque moments that I was able to kind of point out as well.
For sure. Zappa was influenced heavily by Can.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me.
It's well documented for that. So they were kind of the pioneers of this krautrock, which is this cosmic rock, which came from like a free jazz aspect, funk. And one of the things that like the idea of Can as a philosophy came forward with is this musical collective with no leader, where every member had an equal say. And we know some bands, even we go to the 90s, we've talked about Fish.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a Fish aspect to this band, at least psychologically. And they were not really very popular in the mainstream, even though they did some cinematic stuff. They recorded at the Inner Space Studio, which was it was this place that was soundproofed using hundreds of discarded military mattresses.
Oh, gross.
Yeah,
I bet it smelled lovely.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. If it didn't smell like feet, it probably smelled like boxers. And a lot of the album was recorded on a basic like 2-track machine, which is amazing because I think the production on this album sounds really crisp.
There's a ton of space too. So to get this done on a 2-track, someone was really working their butt off to make sure everything landed in the right space.
Yeah. And then there's some songs like the song Vitamin C, which is probably the biggest banger on this album. What are we talking about?
I just pulled up the listens, and yeah, you're sitting at like stream wise, 2 million, 3 million, almost 3 million, and then Vitamin C hits 53 million, almost 54 million. And then you're back down to 1.5, 8 million towards the end, and then on Soup, and then I'm sorry, on Green, and then another 3 million at the end. So, but by far and away, Vitamin C stood out.
Yeah, and that's not the graduation song.
As we go on.
So here's what's interesting about this album in my mind is this album was brought along because they had a handful of singles that they'd already created. They created the song Spoon. It was a single. That was a tie-in to some television shows in Germany. There was a thriller miniseries called Das Messer, and you can see like the opening credits. Like there's a video on YouTube of the opening credits of this thing with the song Spoon in the background. It's awesome. It's so cool.
We'll watch that during break.
Yeah. And so that song did well. They had a few other songs. They had Vitamin C that did well. It was already a single. I think they may have been A and B sides. So they had a few of these songs already in the can.
I see what you did.
That's what I did. I did it. And the cover here, the ochre cover of this album, or here we talked about it's ochre on the can. It's a Turkish brand of canned okra, Ege Bamyasi, which means Aegean okra.
Okay.
From the Aegean Sea. And one of the things that okra does provide to the human body is vitamin C.
There you go.
So there you go.
And that's the one that hit.
Yeah. Yeah. That song
is incredible.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's probably the most famous. And so basically they had a handful of songs already ready. And then when it came time to make this album, essentially they had recorded 3 songs. They recorded Pinch, Sing Swan Song, and One More Night. That's all they recorded. And they had a deadline of tomorrow. And they already had Soup and I'm So Green and Spoon. They already had those built. And they're like, I don't know what to make. I'm sorry. They had Vitamin C, I'm So Green, and Spoon. I don't know what to make. And so they ended up making in one shot all the way out the song Soup, which is the 10-minute jam band. I don't know how you make a song that's actually cohesive in any way. And the idea of making that song was we're going to make the song, whatever comes out, no edits. We're just hit record. We're going to start freaking playing.
Suck it, record company.
Suck it. And part of the problem was that some of the band members got really into playing chess. Like so into chess.
That's not a code. That we actually mean playing the board game chess.
Right. So it became like a massive distraction for this band. So much so that they almost couldn't make their obligation for their record company.
That's a great story.
Yeah, it's bonkers. And I don't know if they ever became grandmasters. I don't know what their rank is. I don't know if they're in what's the Netflix the Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, I don't know if they play into that at all. But it's kind of weird. But this album was very influential. Rolling Stone obviously ranked them as album 454.
It's pretty good.
On the list that we've been covering here. So that's what we're talking about, is album 454 in Rolling Stone Magazine's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time.
Yeah.
Mojo Magazine ranked it as the number one greatest albums you never heard.
Okay. That's really high.
Yep. And then there's a lot of other, like Pitchfork ranked them really high. A lot of people gave them some praise, and I can understand why. This is an album that's so far ahead of its time for the music that you hear. Like if you didn't know when it came out, it's like, all right, it grooves, it's cool.
Wow, this new King Gizzard's really hitting.
Right.
That's right. Like that's
right.
What other camp do you put it in?
Right. 50 years before King Gizzard.
That's exactly right.
Right. So to me, that's what's really impressive about this album. Actually, I've listened to a couple of their Can albums. Some of their stuff is a little bit harder to grasp. This is not their best album, but this album, in my opinion, is really quite good.
Good. What else do you have detail-wise there?
We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
It's 7 songs long worth of content that we'll get into right after this break.
This Week in Music. This Week in Music is brought to you by Harold's Haggis Hemorrhoid Cream. Because your great chieftain of the pudding race deserves a smooth finish. And by Sonic Clean Headphones. Clean your ears while listening to your favorite tunes. Candle crafter kit included. And also by Hip Dysplasia, the original pop music. Now here's your weekend news for February 14th, 2026. Tame Impala have announced a 2026 North American Arena Tour with support from DJO and Dominic Fike. The tour will begin in Miami at the Casilla Center on July 7th and conclude on September 19th at the Toyota Center in Houston. The first half of the tour will be supported by DJO and the latter half by Fike. Kevin Parker has reminded fans that despite the massive arena stage, he's still technically the only person in the room. The band Lip Critic have announced their new album called Theft World, and they've shared its lead single, Legs in a Snare. The New York electro-punk's second album is set for release on May 1st via Partisan Records. Legs in a Snare marks their first new music since last year's single Mirror Match and Second Life. The frenetic track is described as a love song twisted into a horror story that explodes into life with relentless drums and spiky guitar behind frontman Barry Kaiser's impassioned vocals. In keeping with the album title Theft World, the band has clarified that if you actually pay for the record instead of stealing it, you have fundamentally misunderstood the creative vision and are no longer invited to the release party. And a move that has both fitness influencers and concert goers reeling, Ticketmaster has officially unveiled its new obstacle course pre-sale, dubbed the Gauntlet. This new tier of ticket access aims to ensure that only the most physically capable fans can secure floor seats for the biggest tours of 2026.
I support this.
The company claims that the standard verified fan codes have been compromised by AI bots, so they are now pivoting to a method that no algorithm can replicate: physical exertion. To unlock the ability to purchase front row tickets, fans must now report to a local Ticketmaster sanctioned stadium and complete a timed 400-meter dash, a 15-foot rope climb, and a mud pit crawl, all while keeping their smartphone's QR code visible. A Ticketmaster spokesman stated that this is the only way to prove that the fan is truly dedicated, adding that if you can't survive a wall climb, you probably can't survive a mosh pit. The news has been met with backlash from some, but others see it as a long overdue victory for the athletic community.
Finally, we have a system that rewards actual grit versus whoever has the fastest Wi-Fi.
This is Chester Hardwick, 38, a local amateur potato sack racer and frequent concert goer.
For years, people laughed at me for training in my backyard every weekend. But who's laughing now? Well, your so-called super fans are gasping for air at the 10-foot vertical wall. I'll hop right past them into the front row.
Ticketmaster have yet to release the date for when the gauntlet will go live. Stay tuned as the story develops. That has been your Backwards Beats Podcast Week in News for the week of February 14th, 2026. Don't forget to salt your melons.
Ooh, baby, ooh, baby. You don't even know that reference, but it's good.
No, I don't know. Oh.
Friday the 13th, part 5.
That's not. You see, I don't watch horror movies.
Yes.
That's a yes.
Let's try that again. Ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh,
Does this keep doing that?
Ooh. Yeah, he's taking the shit. So good.
Okay, I'm into it. Kinda. Oh, I've been thinking about getting a bidet.
Yeah? Have you considered the Ryobi John Juan?
Juan. So I used to go to this recording studio out next to the city. It wasn't quite in DC, but it'll remain unnamed. I don't know if they want this fact about them known.
Is it when the nights go down in the city?
When the nights? No. But they had, it was a very good studio, but I don't want people lining up to use their wonderful bidet.
Right.
They had a very good, in fact, the best bidet I've ever been with. Is the best way to put it, right? It's very intimate. And the toilet seat was heated, and the bidet had swirling motion. It was heated. It was like a $400 bidet, I swear to God. And it was my first experience. So then, I was like, "This is amazing." And then when they
was it the Manly Mist or?
It may have been.
Yeah.
No, it's Turbo Scour. But then when I went and traveled abroad and tried to use one of these ratchet normal bidets where you just pull an ejector handle, squirts cold water in your butt.
Right,
it's very different.
Yeah,
I was like, this isn't right.
Right, you're spitting in my butthole, yeah.
Yeah, the first one was way better.
Yeah.
Anyway, now I'm like, why don't I just install one of these things? It's the pinnacle of luxury.
It really is.
So
speaking of pinnacles.
Pinch
Pinch.
is the first song on this album. It is a balmy 9 minutes and 28 seconds long. It's funny because you think about how long Soup is, but Pinch doesn't get the respect of being insanely long as well.
It's not insanely long. It's perfectly long.
Oh, this is but in case you haven't figured it out, Dan is a huge fangirl of this album.
I've become tumescent over this album.
He loves this thing. I very much like it. I am not at Dan caliber quite yet.
I'm only Dan caliber because of when this came out.
Yes, and it's worth being stoked over. I mean, his album's over 50 years old, and it's just impressive what they were able to do. And this one comes out of the gate and immediately highlights what I consider to be kind of the golden cup of this whole album, which is their drummer.
Yeah, you have Jaki Liebezeit on drums, who's crushing this thing.
He's smoking this combination fat backbeat, and it's a beat that it's undoubtedly been sampled a million times. This is a beat, that became famous from Buddy Rich playing it effectively, and probably some better drummers than him before him. But he comes out of the gate smoking this beat, and it becomes this first layer of sound of many.
And you think about 1972 drum sound.
Well, yeah, 72, you're looking at single head drums. They're pulling the backs off. They almost always sound kind of woody.
Yeah, concert toms.
Very short.
Yep.
Not a lot of sustain. And you also almost always had really splashy cymbals.
Yep.
Not here.
No, it's tight. It's drum and bass before drum and bass existed.
Totally. And the cymbal tonality, it's like you never changed the metal this whole album. It's the driest, darkest. It's like taking a pipe and hitting a bigger pipe, like a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
A propane tank. That's what his ride sounds like.
It's so good.
And it cuts.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
So that's what it is. And now what you get with this intro is you have a drum groove, which is crushing. You have a bass groove, and then now you have keyboards and guitars, which are exploring the space.
Yeah, the guitar most notably is doing a massive droning swell over the first, 3 minutes.
Yeah, this is Mikhail just finding his sound.
Yeah, and you if you have kind of like a James Brown, Curtis Mayfield sounding drum, it's only fair to say you have almost a Schofield approach to both the guitar and the keys parts, which would be kind of like signature forced accidentals followed by a little bit of resolution, maybe.
Yeah, because there's nothing in this entire album that's harmonically like dense, but they're not afraid of going outside the box.
Yeah, and I think, are you going to hear these huge voiced chords where people are like, okay, I'll take the seventh, No, that's not how they wrote. Instead, it's more like, I'm kind of hanging on this frequency for a while, and other instruments will come in and visit it and kind of saunter out, sometimes in semitones, and leave you feeling a little uneasy or seeking resolution. I really enjoy that aspect.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to pull in a John Scofield reference, I think the album, the Uber Jam.
Uber
band.
Jam is like a perfect example.
Yeah.
Adam Deitch on drums.
Yep.
Let's go.
Oh my God.
Another thing here that's going on is you end up with these kind of buried, mumbly vocals that peak out. I don't mean peak on like frequency, but they'll just kind of stick themselves above the mix a little bit at the weirdest part of where you would like. This would not be how you phrase a sentence.
No, I don't know if this is an ESL thing, but Damo, he's like back in the mix until he needs to be forward.
And he's never quite the main character. When you said this is a project, where there's no real focal point, in this specific song, the vocals are just another layer of sound. They are not, there's not a story that you're going to really hear up front very well. It's almost like voices in your head.
Yeah, he is credited on this album as vocals and biography.
Okay. Yeah, I dig it. That works.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
And the vocals in this and across this thing, we could read through vocals, but most of these things are almost like tone poems as far as their vocal meaning. There's not a lot that you're going to like you can interpret a lot from this, or you can just
Cool, man.
Like unfocus your eyes and look into the middle distance and be happy.
That's right. Yeah, I'm very much on the magic eye train when it comes to this. I don't think that there's any crazy code that we need to crack here.
No.
I will say, as an opening song on the album, it's daunting at almost 10 minutes, and it leaves you on first listen going, "Oh God, what am I in for?"
But you know what you're in for?
It's chilly.
Is now you're in for like almost a minute of running water.
Yes, you are. And if you didn't have to pee before the song started, you do now.
Yeah.
It's really weird. And I wish I found that sound soothing.
I do. I actually have it's basically a fountain that basically just sounds like you're peeing. It's just this running water fountain. I got it like Pottery Barn in 1997 or whatever.
Still going.
Yeah. So it makes me happy. But the fact that in 1997 it was a cool thing to get at Pottery Barn, but we're still in 1972.
There you go. Well, I think that this is a song that intentionally disorients you to some extent.
So for the listeners here, we have moved on from the song Pinch.
Oh yeah.
To song number 2, which is Sing Swan Song.
Yeah. Well, and you're moving through, which is kind of cool. And here you end up with what I considered the first of many anchors on this album. Especially if you were to look at it like as an album, as its 7-piece, and you're like, all right, this song has a little more structure.
It does.
This one has like a vocal melody that's a little more conventional.
Yep, and you may have heard this if you've ever bought the album or listened to the album Graduation by Kanye West, because he sampled this song in the song Drunk Hot Girls, probably the worst song on that album.
Might be.
But it's the melody of this song is pretty interesting. I can understand why Kanye would have pulled this.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think people when they're digging crates, you're only using a snippet of a song a lot of the time.
Yeah.
God knows how many. I mean, I bet if you went to you found that website back in the day.
You sampled.
Yeah. I bet this thing is torn apart like a Bob James album. I mean, I bet there's so much.
There are 24 songs that have sampled this. 24 different songs that have sampled this song.
There we go.
Yeah.
And it would make sense. There's a lot of color in this song that is reminiscent of everything from Zeppelin to Radiohead.
Yeah.
Kind of the vocal presentation, more of the former, the guitar ostinato, more of the latter.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my notes says you can definitely hear the Radiohead influence in this song, or where
Radiohead could have pulled from. Yeah,
and this also features heavily the flexitone.
Yes, not to be mistaken as a vibra slap.
No,
I believe in one of our first episodes we talked about a flexitone, but it is an invention.
Do you have one?
I do have one. It's sitting in the closet over here.
Do you want me to go get it while you talk about what it is?
Yes, if you can find it, it'll be in the bag of tricks, second shelf on the left-hand side in the blue bag. A flexitone is a device that is a metal plate suspended in between two metal wires. On either side of the metal plate, there is of the same kind of caliber. There it is. 2 red balls on mine, and you shake the thing back and forth, and the balls hit the metal plate. As you flex the plate using your finger, the pitch gets higher. And there it is, a flexitone. And it's the dumbest instrument in the world, yet it's pretty fun, and I own one. There's also a slide whistle. There's also a ratchet. There's probably a güiro on here, I'm pretty sure, which sounds a lot like the ratchet. And so they're having some fun with alternate percussive sound sources, to say the least. There's also, outside of the percussive realm, some incredible sounds. Is there a bagpipe in this song?
I have that question mark. It says bagpipe question mark.
I can't figure out if it's a bagpipe that has some effects on it, or if it's a synthesizer that sounds a hell of a lot like a bagpipe.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because bagpipes in and of themselves are very intense instruments. They're hard to record. They're hard to capture.
Do you remember that time we were trying to use a bagpipe for an ad, and we went and tried to buy find a free bagpipe virtual instrument simulator?
Yeah,
for
and
Harold?
actually, and I even contacted my friend who competes in bagpipe competitions. He's like, download one.
Yeah, just download it. I'm not recording for you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not waking my neighbors up for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's that.
I'm sorry, question. Was that Harold's Haggis hemorrhoid cream?
Hemorrhoid cream, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
Harold.
if you have not paid attention to our sponsors, Harold's is a great sponsor. They've been really supportive of this show.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you're interested, so they have Harold's Haggis hemorrhoid cream, and they also have the Highland Chill.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, the bagpipe's crucial for those.
Yeah.
Another sound source I really liked in this is I couldn't tell, but if it was some sort of mandolin or a guitar doing like a mandolin thing, playing a 30-second note, kind of more traditional classical type of, passage. But all of it really fits the soundscape beautifully.
This is a really cool song. I kind of feel like it's guitar. I feel like it's guitar just up at the 20 whatever fret.
I want it to be mandolin, but I didn't hear a double string, but there was enough effects and processing on it. Could have been.
Yeah. If you're listening to that, if you're trying to figure that out, like a mandolin with a double string, what happens is it's like every guitar on the planet's not in tune.
Yep.
And now you have a mandolin where you have, all right, here's 2 strings. They're supposed to be the same note. They're not.
Yeah.
They're close. So there's a chorusing effect that comes out of that mandolin, which is when you listen to, Led Zeppelin or whatever, because there's a Led Zeppelin reference to me that comes later on in this album.
Indeed.
You'll hear that chorusing effect, which It's not that it's, even though it's not in tune, it's not bad. It's just,
No, I mean, we've gotten so used to what perfect sounds like at this point. It's not fun.
yeah.
What sticks out to you about this song?
I think the melody, the vocal melody, is haunting.
Yeah, and also there was no evidence in Pinch that this guy could sing at all, because it was almost all spoken.
Yeah.
Or and so buried in the mix. So it's really refreshing to come in and be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We have a pretty great melody.
Yeah, because the lyrics, it's like there are some lyrics on this album that make some sense, and most of it is like, you know how Fish just says stuff so that he can get their lyrics out and singing like beautiful, like Fish sings some awesome harmonies together.
In the cool shade of a banana tree.
Right. Right. One of my favorite lyrics of them is Smegma Dogmatogram Fish Market Stew in the song Stash.
Oh, that's right. That does exist in there.
Does.
I remember when they dropped the album that had Fuego on it. My buddy was a huge Fish fan, and he was like, hey, Fish dropped new stuff. And I was like, I'll give it a listen. I was like, they're just rhyming Fuego with Diego for the sake of it.
Right. Right. Yeah. They have songs like Glide or Weigh.
No, hey, Way is brilliant.
I want to cut your head off so I can weigh it.
What do you say? 5
pounds.
Yeah. So yeah, lyrically, I did the thing on Spotify where you can read along, and I'll be honest with you, on every attempt to do that, I got bored of reading and left. I'm not the big lyric guy anyway. When it comes to like, I'm not going to go decode whatever he might be trying to say if it's not blatantly obvious.
Yeah, like the chorus, I'll put in quotes, shaking her shimmer like you buzz, they soothe the sing-swan song. Sing-swan song, I can't even say the words. Shaking the shimmer like you buzz, they soothe the sing-song swan. And then you've just the drunky hot bells. She's sucking, having game, but happy.
Yeah, I remember
as the
these words.
days
I was
run.
like, this is
Yeah.
this is explicit.
Yeah.
Do you find it cool or funny that these Germans and a Japanese dude decided to write the whole entire first 2 songs at least in English? Or 7? I don't know if they did them all in English.
It's the language of commerce.
There it is. Okay, this dollar's still strong in 72. I think for this song, you end up with a lot of character, and there's this dissonant build towards the end.
Yeah.
Where they're like not going to let you get comfy. It's around 3 minutes, 40 seconds. And it's really hard to kind of like grind.
I wrote 342.
Hell yeah, bro. It's kind of hard to grind up to that level in 6/8 time.
Right. Right.
And
'cause
so that's a whole other factor that we can throw in here.
this is the number of the beat.
Yeah, it is. It could, I wouldn't say it like makes the oh my god list. Though, had you and I listened to this, maybe we would have mentioned it.
Yeah.
Overall, totally different direction than where you think you're going after listening to Pinch, the first song.
Yeah. But if it made graduation, maybe it's worth it, right?
Absolutely. I think this is a great tune.
Yeah. But I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Phil Collins has now entered the room?
Because of One More Night.
Yeah.
I was like, take me.
One of the best songs ever fucking made. Fight me.
That one, Bone Thugs sampled really, really effectively.
Yeah. So we go from 6/8 to 7/4.
7/4 into 7/8.
Yeah.
This song is great. One More Night.
One More Night.
Can I read my line?
Yeah.
Feels like a synth bossa nova in 7/8. That was my opener.
And
But you're right. It's 7/4.
Yes. I love the bass harmonics that sometimes go over the bar line.
There's definitely some guitar harmonics maybe, and then there's this perfectly paired, it's either the cheapest or the most expensive keyboard, I can't tell, that also sounds like the tonality of a harmonic, and I don't think that's by mistake.
Right. So you have a P bass.
I do have a P bass.
Are you able to play harmonics so that our audience can hear it on this podcast? I'll happily talk about what they are while you do that.
I could try. Hold on. Yeah. So talk about harmonic. Oh, you know what?
No, I don't.
Hold on. If we stop it very briefly. So hold on. Okay. Magic of the studio. We plugged in the P bass. Talk harmonics.
Sick. So harmonics, when you hear a note, can you just play like a D? Right. So when you hear that D, you're hearing more than one note when you do that. And what's really interesting especially on a bass or any stringed instrument, is if you gently fret a note, you'll get a note. When you hear that one note, you're hearing multiple notes all at once. So it goes root, octave, fifth, octave, third, and it keeps climbing up. There's a bunch of notes that happen in that. And what's really cool is that when you fret a note, you hear one sound. And then when you play the harmonic, so go ahead and play the 12th fret of whatever string you want. I don't care. Kind of interesting. Now play that same string on the 7th fret, which is kind of interesting. Now play it on the 5th fret. Isn't that weird how it goes higher as you go lower? It's weird. So so why does that happen? There's like some physics going on here. What's happening here is Carl is cutting the string in shorter and shorter intervals. You're getting that higher note. It's isolating those frequencies in a different way. So what he's doing is he's gently putting his fretting hand on the string and then plucking the string with his right hand. Right, yeah. And so it's kind of weird because you go opposite. Normally when you play the bass, if you start on a low fret, you're going to get a low note, and then when you start sliding your hand higher, it's going to go higher. But actually, when you do harmonics, it's kind of opposite, which is bizarre. And then what you get in this song are these sounds that sound like these harmonics on the bass, which is a complete mindfuck if you're trying to play a song in harmonics like Victor Wooten when he does Amazing Grace.
Fantastic. One of the best to ever do it. And, harmonics, you hear them in a lot of different musical styles. Another place that you'll hear a ton of harmonics is if you look at like Tommy Emmanuel style acoustic guitar players. Kent. Oh man, it'll come to me. But there's an entire kind of genre of acoustic instrument players, specifically guitar players, who do a lot of like surface tapping while playing chords and playing beats on their guitars. Yep. And then they'll, use harmonics a lot to create just a massive wall of sound only using one instrument.
Yeah. And you know who also is pretty good with their harmonics?
Are you going to say Walk Off the Earth?
No, I was going to say Jeff Ament from Pearl Jam. If you ever heard the song Jeremy. Yeah. So that bass line, well, first of all, Jeff Ament doesn't get, in my opinion, enough credit for the amount of fretless bass he plays.
I didn't know he played fretless.
The whole 10 albums all fretless bass.
That's insane.
And
he's very good.
So the song Jeremy, dum 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 dum, all those high notes, that's the bass. And
yes.
That's him playing the
and you
harmonics.
Get the boom boom. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty well known tune.
Yeah.
Back to a not so well known tune. What else about this song sticks out?
So the song's in 7/4.
Most of it. And what's great about this is you can tell that you can feel that 7/4 groove, but then it modulates metrically to 7/8. Yeah. Where would you say it really hits that point?
I don't know. It's about midway through.
Yeah. I clocked it for the first time heavily around 320.
Yeah.
And it's because of the way I know it's always 320.
Well, that's literally what I said halfway, but yes.
Yeah, I made my marks here. It's because there's this distinct change in the kind of the energy of the drums.
Yeah.
It's over also what I called laser sounds. Or what I think a laser sounds like.
Yes.
Which isn't pew pew, but it's more like a staticky.
Yeah, it's more like
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's like Battlestar Galactica, not Star Wars.
There you go.
Yeah.
What would that frack?
Yeah.
You're fracking right.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I gotta watch it again. Yeah, this tune, what band this most reminds me of? And it's kind of a silly one.
Steve Miller Band?
No. Though I see where you could pull that from. The band War.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think it's the way that the rhythm section's working here.
Yeah.
You guys know War from Lowrider, and Why Can't We Be Friends?
2 banger songs.
Oh, fantastic band. Really slept on, but they one of the hallmarks of War's sound was having kind of this neat Latin-esque, but more in the States type of rhythm section.
Yeah.
Because they'd use like timbale and shakers and conga alongside drum set, but just felt so modern.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And here you actually get a lot of that same kind of feeling.
Yeah. And you might not notice the 7/4 to 7/8. It's not like when Snarky Puppy plays Lingus and the first part of the groove is in 5/4 and then goes to 5/8. Like, because between verse and quote chorus.
Yeah, I mean, no, there's it's a feel count. Are you counting the quarter? Are you counting the eighth? What's driving the song?
Yeah.
Because it becomes subjective to an extent, though. Yeah. I now, having listened to this song without you in the room and with you in the room, do concur. 7/4.
Yeah, it's 7/4 at the beginning, and what you'll notice, you won't notice the transition to 7/8. It's mostly where Carl's talking about is the song gets a little bit more like, I'll say, agitated.
I agree. I think that's perfect word.
And that at that agitation point, it feels, as a musician, you're going to feel that more in 7/8 than you will in 7/4, just to try to keep up with the song.
Agreed. And when it gets agitated, I think some of the agitators, the things that shift for me, if you're in the beginning of this song, especially about a minute in or so, you start to hear like, this is going to sound silly, but I guess it goes along with the war thing. We've listened to some West African music.
We have.
And a couple of the keys in West African music are kind of these, these patterns. Mm-hmm. And there's this noodling guitar that's kind of sitting off in one ear. It's not quite playing a solo. It's not quite playing a lead. It's just kind of conversational. And that was one of those things that brought me also to that West African feel.
Yeah.
Now, when it switches over, it goes harder into jazz.
Yes.
And jazz that's really pressing on tension notes, flat 2, flat 5. And that's where I think that agitation really comes to hit it. So we almost switch out of West African, which is almost always major and comfortable, into something that's a little more...
Right. You're somewhere between The Doors and Miles Davis' Bitches Brew.
Yeah. Oh, Bitches Brew is a great reference for this.
Yeah.
Doors just sound effect wise.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
The tonality is there. But around 4 minutes, it gets freaking jazzy.
It does.
Frackin' jazzy.
Frackin' jazzy.
Love this song. Love this song.
And it's a great way to end side 1 of this album.
What do you say we take a little break?
Let's do it.
At 7:58 p.m., you will both pretend you're finishing emails. At 8:06, someone will stand up for no clear woof. At 8:09, there will be prolonged eye contact. Not aggressive. By 8:12, the phrase "come here" will mean something. We don't dim lights. Passion time. Schedule the woof. Passion time. Schedule the woof. Passion time. Passion time. Passion time. Schedule the woof.
Stronger than dirt.
That's nice.
Jim Morrison.
And Dustbuster.
I didn't know. You're the one who told me.
We will get to that album, I'm sure.
How far out do you think?
Like 7 to 10 years from now.
There you go. It'll be a while. All right. So for those who might just be rejoining us and you forgot where you are because we sat here for a half hour in between and tried to synchronize a calendar. We listened to Soup at least once.
We did. And what's really important, especially like this time of year, it's really cold here in the Maryland area. It's cold in the United States. We've had a big cold snap, as they would say. The temperature is in the icy region.
Yeah, it's in the single digit degrees.
Correct. And what's important to stay healthy is to have a good sense and a good amount of vitamin C in your body.
Indeed.
And as we've talked about already on this podcast, is okra or Ege Bamyasi is a good source of vitamin C. And that's the song we're talking about as we get into side 2 of this album.
Yeah, this song will heat you up. It is a fantastic song. And if you are musically minded, you're going to hear this song and go, where do I know this from? As Dan mentioned earlier, it's been sampled or I guess you're talking about another song, but this song has to have been sampled a gazillion times.
So we talked about Kanye doing a sample of a different song, but here on this album, but he also released an AI deep fake cover of this song under the title of Losing Your Mind, and which is what Kanye has done over the past handful of years.
Effectively.
Lost his mind. And what's unfortunate is that by changing the title of the song from Losing Your Mind to From Losing Your Vitamin C, the artistry of the song is lost. And so Kanye's rendition, well, it's not Kanye. He just had AI do it, so it's a piece of shit. So piss on that turd.
Whizzer on your dangle.
But I love Damo's vocals, like fluid vocals throughout this whole thing, and he ends up getting some like really good rasp in the chorus.
During the chorus specifically. Yeah. It sounds nice and desperate. I mean, the thing that drives this song for me is this incredible drum groove yet again, which is a pretty awesome, aggressive pattern that's like part hip-hop groove, part marching band.
Yeah.
A lot of active kick drum work going on here. And instead of playing the hi-hat with his stick, he's opting to play most of the beat on the snare drum between the snare and the kick drum. And so it's really powerful. It's really driving. It feels ultra modern, at the same time feels almost classical, like you're only using 2 sound sources.
Yeah.
Like symphonic. And then you have this, what if you want to stay in that realm, that mindset, this bass line that feels pizzicato. If it were an upright, it's not. It's an electric bass.
Right.
It's playing this minor arpeggio, dum 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 dum, over this driving aggressive beat, and that's the entire soundscape. So unlike everything we've heard up until now,
It's so good.
it's very dialed in. It's very structured.
Yeah.
And so when the guitar does come in, it really is effective. It creates this beautiful tension. The lyrics are right out front, or the melodies right out front for once. I wouldn't say the lyrics are. It's a little tough to hear what he's saying, but the melodies finally are the centerpiece here.
You're losing your
Yeah.
vitamin C.
Yeah, but the verse, unfortunately, is a little more
The verse is-
whispery.
Yeah.
But man, this is such a beautifully intense song. It's really great.
Yeah, so this song was used in a number of different places. This is the banger on the album.
This is the one that's well up over 80 million listens.
Right. So he Can was commissioned to perform a piece for the soundtrack of the 1973 German television show Dead Pigeon on Beethoven Street, and this was a song that they handed forward for that thing. And this song has been in a number of other films, soundtracks. There's the Broken Embraces by Pedro, I can't pronounce his name. There's a lot of places, and what you'll hear, and I think it's worth paying attention to, is that Can, and to me, I feel like this album needs to be consumed as one can of food.
Ah, I see where we're going with this.
I really do, even though as we move along to the next song on this album, the first 3 songs were written for the album. Vitamin C had been written before as a single. And the next 2 songs already were written as singles. So, the last 2 songs, I should say, were written as singles. And so this song already existed, already had a following before the album came out.
So that goes to show kind of where a lot of these listens came from. It's a great look. If you have to hitch your entire album to a song, why not this?
Yeah, and if you ever saw like Euphoria,
Yeah, I started watching it.
it's in that.
That makes sense.
If you've seen Guy Ritchie's 2019 film The Gentleman, it's in that. The Netflix miniseries Eric, it's in that. And in 25, We Bury the Dead, it's in that.
How about that?
Right.
So,
So
nice to see that they're getting some residuals.
Yeah.
I can't for the life of me remember who were the Australian artists who had that one pop song that
AC/DC?
no, that was like real hot last summer. I feel like they were like a Eurovision star,
Right.
But the singing style here, Mankin or something like that.
Yeah.
They had this big pop song and the very growly singing style. I feel like this absolutely could have influenced that.
Yeah, the song's not coming to my head, but is it Tame Impala?
No,
That you're thinking of?
no, not even close.
All right.
But I will say the overall, you end up with this fantastic center of an album. Another piece here is at the end. We were talking a little bit about the Doors and Jim Morrison. The organs at the end;
Yes.
those are so Doorsy.
They're very Doorsy. And that's where the Stronger Than Dirt, if you've never listened to the song Touch Me by the Doors, the very last vocal line spoken in that song is Stronger Than Dirt.
There it is.
It's buried in the music, but that's what he's saying is Stronger Than Dirt, which is the Dustbuster, which is stronger than dirt.
You know what you don't want to put in your dustbuster?
What's that?
Soup.
You don't. And why is that?
Because dustbuster batteries don't last 10 minutes and 31 seconds to consume all of the soup.
That's correct. So we've talked about side one of this album, which is the song Pinch, Sing Swan Song, and One More Night. Vitamin C existed before this album came out. So now Soup is the song we've talked about already, which once the guys lifted the heads up from the chessboard, they're like, all right, we got to do something.
Rook 5, your pawn knight.
Those are words. And so they put this song together with no edits. They're like, we're not editing this. We're starting and we're making this song.
And you said something during our break when we were kind of listening to it, which is really cool. You were commenting on how Vitamin C, you went, and it walks right into Soup.
It does. It does. So Vitamin C. And so the first time I listened to this album, I thought Soup was intentional. And it's not. It's like they were just forced. Like their producer, like, dude, record another song. You don't have an album. And what's cool is it bleeds into this improvised jam. The whole song's improvised. And they're just kind of like, we've talked about earlier about the band Fish who plays this game called Finding the Hay Hole.
Oh, that's right. We haven't talked about this in a long time.
And I feel like that's what happens here at the beginning of this song is they're feeling their way around. Everyone's playing their own parts until they coalesce into this banging frickin' groove.
Yeah, the first kind of section of this song,
it's like bluesy chords.
Yeah, and you can tell that like maybe they tried to scrape something together, and they're like, okay, what are we gonna do? And that's what they had.
Yeah, there's
and
some sharp nine chords that.
It was put together so well groove wise that they didn't just fly that per se.
Yeah.
They got there. So they're like, okay, we're going to dick around for 45 seconds to a minute. We'll get to that thing, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, this isn't hey, guys, our first jam. What do you want to do? Let's do a blues and C. That's not that. Yeah.
But if it was just that piece, I like that piece too. Mm-hmm. I like that piece. I like how they got there.
Yeah.
But man, what happens after that piece?
Yeah, so what you have is you have these bluesy chords, you have a really sick drum groove, bass is trying to lock in, keys are trying to lock in, and the guitar is exploring the space.
Yeah.
About 3 minutes and 20 seconds in.
Always 320 with these guys.
320, not 420.
Boo.
They didn't know about that. Then you get this like heavy guitar. It's almost like a metal riff.
I said, yeah, this is borderline metal guitar tones.
Yeah.
Which is really, really cool. It makes me wonder if bands like TV on the radio
Yeah.
Like noise rockers
Yep.
pull from this kind of thing.
For sure.
Where you can kind of get like drums that aren't metal, but guitar tones that are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the guitar riff is almost, because you and I played this song, listened to this song the other day. It's not the same, but it's almost the same riff as the riff in the song "Heavy" by Collective Soul.
Oh, good tune. Oh man, that song's incredible.
Yeah, and it noodles around with that, and the bass comes in, and then about 5 minutes in, that's when this song like takes a sharp left turn into what I was like, I don't know, it's like this deep drone, distorted synths. It almost feels like a Van de Graaff generator. You know what a Van de Graaff generator is?
Noise generator.
Well, so it's the thing that you like put your hand on with there's like lightning.
Yeah. The ball. Oh, sorry. In that case, no, I do not.
Yeah.
That's what that thing's called?
Yeah. So one of the largest ones in the world is up in Boston, and it's really cool because the demonstration they have of the Van de Graaff generator up in Boston is this. You sit in this cage, which is essentially a Faraday cage, because you think about it, when there's a lightning storm, they're like, oh, stay in your car. And people think it's the rubber on their tires that's keeping you safe. It's the fact that your car is made out of metal that's keeping you safe, because the electrons go on the outside of the metal. They don't come through the metal. So what's cool is if you ever go up to the Museum of Science in Boston, they have the world's largest Van de Graaff generator, which is these two massive like balls that shoot lightning out.
Nice.
And there's like a massive bird cage, which a person goes up and they put their finger on the inside of the bird cage. They touch the bird cage and lightning is striking their finger. But because of the way Faraday cages work, because of the way physics and electrons work, it stays on the outside of the metal. It doesn't go to the inside of the metal.
Otherwise, you have like popcorn human.
Correct. So even though mostly that's because of the amount of electricity required, I think it's like 1 million volts that this thing generates. That's what it made me think of. But mostly it just sounds like this loud snapping, because that's what lightning sounds like. This is like loud.
Yeah.
That's really what it sounds like. But that's kind of what you get. You get this like this deep groan, like saw wave, like synths that get like very distorted.
Yeah, the distortion alone. My description was, this feels like a really, really dirty version of a pop song up until about 4 minutes. Then it falls into something closer to Herbie Hancock's Headhunters going down the K-hole.
Yeah.
Then there's a massive tempo shift.
There is. Yeah.
And then total guitar effects explosion. Mm-hmm. And I believe I went around 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Everything goes off the rails. And by 8:45, we're back to free jazz.
We are. And I said, I love this section. It's uncomfortable in a good way. It's what the band Suicide wishes they could have fucking made on their album.
Oh, yes. May they all sleep in hell because of that terrible album.
Yes.
Yeah, this
This
it's
is not comfortable.
Baked. It's nuked. Yeah, it's hard to listen to. I'll tell you what, I prefer listening to it on a larger sound source. Listening to it on these speakers versus like an AirPod.
Yeah.
Oh, God, an AirPod, you just like feel your brain itch. It's not good.
Yeah, I can't scratch that part of the inside of my skull. Yeah.
But it's ballsy and it's creative.
Yeah.
And I like that. And like being like, people must have thought they were nuts. Like, I would have loved to be a fly on the wall for that session.
Yeah. Yeah. And so this song, in some ways, maybe my favorite song in the album, is only good, in my opinion, in the context of the album.
Yeah, this is not this, you don't put
Here, let's
this,
go listen to Soup.
You do. Hey, let's go listen to Soup if you want to laugh with your friend or like watch their facial expression,
Right.
Not because it grooves.
Right, because at the 5-minute song, it's like Indiana Jones or Raiders of the Lost Ark when the Nazis open the Ark of the Covenant and their faces melt off. That's what's happening here.
That is. It is. It's
Yeah.
It's very much that.
Yeah.
And I like the reaction. So good on them for putting it out. That was a ballsy move. And luckily they have a lot of other tunes to kind of anchor songs like Soup. So it actually works in the collection. And look no further than the next song.
Because I did not know this song was just filler, I thought this was part of an arc, because you go through the cacophony of Soup into the next song, which is I'm So Green.
Yeah.
The song slaps. It
I love
grooves
this
so
too.
hard.
Well, first of all, having a groove
yeah.
is so welcomed.
Yes.
Like you can only sit in like chaos atmosphere for so long until you need something to straighten it out.
Right.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
And it's showcasing, this incredibly talented drummer once again.
Yeah.
I'm loving that we yet again have kind of this awesome play on this fatback beat. Right?
I bet
this
you
one,
Beck has listened to Can by this point.
Totally. It swings too, and that's how you know. It sounds like something that could be a modern sample.
I love the way the Hammond organ like swirls around with the guitar part in this. It's such a beautiful orchestration and interplay between those two instruments. It's
Perfectly
fantastic.
This use of space, guys, is so impressive for 72. And if the rumor's true, they recorded this on some sort of a 2-track.
Right.
Like, what? How do you get? Because traditionally, if you don't use a lot of channels and don't have the ability, I mean, you can always pan things in post, I suppose, but you just don't have all the tools in 72 to EQ and pan and create distance and use reverb and effects to kind of create a 3D song versus a 2D song where everything's kind of sitting on each other. This is so funky and fun. There's a breathy vocal part that I think is really appealing.
Yeah.
You know who I think could have pulled from this is, did you ever get hip to any of Blind Melon's content that wasn't No Rain?
Blind Melon goes deep.
Blind Melon is such a funk band.
Yeah.
They're so underrated. And not funk is in like Tower of Power style, but the other side of funk.
Yeah.
They were so cool and loose with their grooves. I could see them pulling from this. A more well-known reference would be like older Chili Peppers kind of had that same vein. And the way that the vocals are going here, I could even see Anthony Kiedis ripping some of this off.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I was just at this place called the Center Court and ran into somebody, and he asked me what song he should play on the jukebox.
The jukebox,
Yep.
the touch tunes.
And the touch tunes, and I'm like, Breaking the Girl.
Yep, there you go. Good old Chili Peppers, man.
Yep.
Fantastic tune.
I'm So Green slaps. It's so good. My only complaint is I do wish that the vocals were mixed a little bit higher.
Me too. But you can make that argument about
Half the songs.
Well, the songs that really sit down. So Sing Swan Song, One More Night, and this specifically, the vocal mixing's a little low. And you can say the verses in Vitamin C, though I kind of like where they sit in Vitamin C. Vitamin C might be a perfect song.
Because when he leans into it,
that's the thing.
Fucking A,
That's
man.
the thing. And even then, I'll give me another decibel there.
Yeah. So good.
There's something I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't have a name for it, but I have some examples that back it up. And I think I'm So Green is the perfect song on the album to kind of show it off. You know how like heroin chic is a thing or was a thing?
Yep.
You know, kind of like, and then how grunge kind of played its own game where there's this perfect imperfection. Here you get this perfect imperfection in this song. It's so, it could so easily be cleaned up and made pretty, a la Steely Dan. And they intentionally don't do it. It's so raw in theirs. And I think that there's a lot of musicians in the more modern time that do this well in the way that Can did. Notable ones, Violent Femmes.
I was going to say, this is like a better version of I Want to Be Your Dog.
Yeah, that's a really good example.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, Soul Coughing. You could even say Gnarls Barkley kind of played into how you can use a little bit of yuck. Like they could have rounded off all the corners of Danger Mouse's production.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And they generally didn't and left things a little raw. They could have breath controlled CeeLo more.
Right.
And they didn't. And I know that's a little bit of a stretch, but if you want to look at
because Crazy is a perfect song.
The genre. Yes, but if you listen to it, there's this great hiss in the back. The chops are clearly there.
The song is a mess. The recording is a mess.
In the best way.
Yes, yeah.
It's like no, this is good enough.
Yeah.
And I love that. That's like OG indie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, that's my
fantastic.
plea, my testimony, if you will.
I'm glad you brought that forward. Yeah.
And this song embodies it. And it got there first.
Yeah. And then what are you gonna do with a can of okra or can of soup? You're gonna need a spoon. And I kind of love like there's these like Casio drums mixed with the real drums.
Yeah, how about that? They're there, and is it a Casio horn thing too?
Maybe, yeah.
This whole thing could have been made on the cheapest or most expensive keyboard. I'm not sure.
Right. And this was probably made before Casio had a keyboard.
Sure, but
Right.
they get what I'm saying. Radio Shack quality.
Yeah.
If Jack White was playing keyboard,
Right. Yeah.
what would he choose?
And what I love about this is that the keyboard patch mixed with like this acoustic, like almost Middle Eastern guitar part.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the song Black Mountainside by Led Zeppelin on Led Zeppelin 1. I don't know if you know that song. It's the instrumental like acoustic
I'm familiar
song.
with the song, yeah.
Freaking banger of a song on Led Zeppelin 1, which of course no one talks about because it's just this short little interlude. But
Well, so I
but
was
it's the tonality of the guitar, the timbre, that makes me think of Black Mountainside. But yeah.
yeah. There's a few different moments, and that's one of them where you kind of hear Zeppelin. I think the other one was in One More Night. No, in
That's Phil
in-
Collins.
no, sorry, yeah, no, in
That's nothing.
Sing Swan Song.
Yeah.
You kind of got a little bit of that Zeppelin stylistic
Yep.
feeling. What I really like about this one is the way that the synth comes in. They start to add layers, and the sustained synth, which effectively becomes a drone,
Yeah.
they're
Like ogres, because ogres have layers.
I love you. And then they add in a group vocal for the first and only time on the album.
Yeah.
And then they add in harmony
So
for
it's-
the first and only time on the album.
So it's crazy because you come out of Soup, which is a train wreck.
Yeah,
We get into these last two songs, which are like pop songs, essentially.
essentially. And then this one's using techniques at the end of the album they haven't touched the whole time.
No.
They haven't used vocal harmony. They haven't used group singing.
They're like the Kinks now.
They're layering.
Yeah.
They're like the Kinks. Except I like this 10-minute song. That's the difference.
That's only 3 minutes and 6 seconds.
No, I like the 10-minute song
yeah,
on
yeah,
here,
yeah,
is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because what is it, the third song of the Kinks album, you and I had very different feelings about.
No, you're thinking of the Stooges.
Oh, I am thinking the
When I
Stooges.
Fall.
Oh yeah, the Kinks didn't really have a 10-minute song.
They didn't.
They had some nice like tromping around the village drinking song I liked.
Yes. Yep.
I think that this ending of the album, after the trip you've been on, is fitting, if not actually just one hair underwhelming.
So this is where the Stooges come in. Because if you think about the first Stooges album, even though that album's not the one I would have picked for the top 500, the very last song on the Stooges album was a more produced, more accessible song. I would say that Spoon is probably other than Vitamin C, Spoon's one of the most accessible songs on this album.
Yes, I agree with you. And honestly, on face value, if Vitamin C didn't have just that gusto and that following that it already had,
Right.
plus it's just a kick-ass song, this might actually be like, okay, what can we put on the radio? This might be the push.
This is the pop banger. And so I feel like we all felt our space. We got our feet wet. We did all this sort of stuff because rest of Can's discography is not necessarily as accessible as this album. And this song is very accessible.
Yeah.
It's very comfortable. So they give you a reprieve by song 7, and which is nice.
I agree.
And it's not a reprieve in like the way of a sellout. It's
Not at all.
Not at all.
No. The fact of the matter is if you look at the whole collection of tunes, not a single one of them sounds like anything else on there.
No.
And not a single one of them sounds like anything else out there.
Yeah.
I know I spent a lot of time during this episode and this breakdown talking about things that could have influenced, but they all came after.
Right.
So with that said, does this deserve its spot?
Holy shit, yes, I think so. And here's why. I haven't talked enough about the production quality of these drums. These drums do not sound like that era. They sound so much more ahead of their time.
Yeah.
The sound source is so beautifully performed and beautifully recorded. And the drums are tuned. It doesn't sound like a box of like a cardboard box you're banging on, or, you know, a thing of paper. I understand why this is on the list because of everyone that it influenced, and it slaps.
Yeah, it's so creative. I could talk all day about how great the drums are, but you just did a great job. Another thing here that stands out for me on the album is restraint from the bass player.
Yeah.
Paired with experimentation from the guitar player. Mm-hmm. You know, these are the bones of a band I want to hear. Kick-ass drummer, respectful bass player, therefore strong rhythm section.
You're right.
Guitar player who's able to add ambiance. I can't imagine.
And keyboards that are like, we've barely touched on the keyboard parts on this.
Well, the guitar and the keyboard are doing this great job sharing space too. Mm-hmm. And, you know, where the keyboard, you know, you can dial in, you can swap some knobs. You know how hard it is in 72 to get your hands on all of the sound that guitar made over the course of the album? Yeah. It's really wild.
Yeah. And the bass player, not only is he restrained, he's respectful of the harmony, and he's owning the harmony in his own way.
Yeah.
And also just like owning like 70s. Like, if you ever see the movie Dirty Harry?
No, I've never seen it, but I'm familiar with it.
Right. It's like, you kind of get that 70s, like, grimy. I feel a little dirty when you're done, like physically dirty when you're done listening to this.
Yeah,
album.
I know you off some people.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm okay with it. I think the combo itself, this 5-piece, is really compelling. The singer's a mystery to me, and I have no problem with Davos doing his thing. But like, it fits because it's fucking weird and creepy, and he's willing to match the energy no matter where they are, and that's all you can ask for, honestly.
Right? Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that this has been is well placed in this collection of music. Is this listened for everybody? Probably not. For the fair weather music listeners out there, if you turn this thing on, this is going to be chewy, like raw okra.
So we've talked about like the albums that are like amazing albums that like you cannot listen, you can't help but listen to.
Yeah, like you look back a few episodes to the Reverend Al Green Greatest Hits.
Yeah,
anybody can listen to that. If you can't listen to that, there's something wrong with you.
Right. This one's not like that, but if you listen to modern music, if you listen to hip hop, if you listen to drum and bass, if you listen to house, if you listen to
metal, rock, prog,
here's the progenitor of a lot of that. And so they I think they deserve their day in the spotlight.
Totally. Yeah, I have no problem stamping this one in. It's been really fun. You know, this I like to check in on kind of where we are with the mission every now and then. And this one feels like thanks Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
I'm happy to catch this stray. You know, like
I love it. Yeah. So I have a question for you, my friend.
Ooh, I don't know if I was ready for this.
All right. What's in your ears?
What is in my ears? I just added something today.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Have you, my friend, heard... Oops, come on, don't do that. Have you heard of... Where are they?
Emerson, Lake and Palmer?
Oh, I do love me some ELP.
Electric Light Orchestra?
I actually have ELO on here. Have you heard of Minus the Bear?
Yes. Minus the Bear. Okay, let's talk about Minus the Bear.
So Minus the Bear.
So good.
Yeah, I know. So it's so damn good. They do this kind of like precision glitch rock is the best way I can put it. And I was introduced to Minus the Bear back, oh my God, in my mid to late 20s when I was running a music school out in Gaithersburg, Maryland, by some kid in college. College kids always have access to the best, coolest, newest music.
They do.
Ray Remis showed me Minus the Bear. Respect, Ray. And it was like really cool melodic rock with this incredible tight drum. Everybody's so tight. Everything's on. You think it's digital. You think it's almost synth because of how
it's so precise
it is.
Yeah.
It's nerd music. Fun time signatures, odd hits, not a lot of cymbals, just a lot of metric stuff.
Right.
And this kind of vocal presentation that's like droll but in a good way. Like, just it's like you're treating the voices almost like synths.
Yep. Yeah.
Really fun.
I'm so happy you're listening to Minus the Bear.
Really, really fun. The song that stood out to me that dragged me back in is the song Nights. Mm-hmm. But the whole album that it's on is to die for. And I looked back. I just missed them. They were in town right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And they were over at, I think, 930 Club or Fillmore. I should have seen them. But yeah, getting reunited with Minus the Bear has been a real pleasure.
Reunited.
What you been listening to?
Are you familiar with this gal named Madison McFerrin?
Yes, I am. Bobby McFerrin's daughter.
Yeah, so I've been digging into her 2025 release, her album called Scorpio. And what's really so great, so Bobby McFerrin, if you don't know, Don't Worry, Be Happy, or if you're not familiar with Four Non Blondes, song What's Up? So Madison is Bobby McFerrin's daughter. She's a fantastic like jazz vocalist. But what's nice about her music is she has these jazz leanings, but she's not afraid of making like a dance track. And Scorpio is just a really good like complete album. And Carl and I, we were fortunate enough last year to go like watch her perform with one of our favorite bands in the world, who is
Snarky Puppy. Got him on. Check. In fact, we got in early one morning, surprise, and caught an interview with her.
Yeah,
as she spoke about some of her practices and what it is to be her in the marketplace, and some of the conversation being a black woman in the field and having to kind of fight for that was one of the main pieces. But there was also that whole like conversation about like nepotism, like
right,
you're Bobby McFerrin's daughter, how do you get through the struggles of people be like, oh, you just like handed this,
right?
Which she certainly isn't. She's incredibly talented. She's earned her stripes
for sure.
If he didn't exist, technically she wouldn't exist. But if he was not a singer, if he was an accountant,
right,
she would still stand alone, be fantastic.
Yeah,
it's very clear.
Yeah. So the album Scorpio by Madison McFerrin, check it out, banger,
worth looking at.
Definitely.
Speaking of things that are worth looking at, what are we looking at next week?
So I think next week we will get what we deserve.
Oh, well done. And that is?
We'll be listening to the album Pretty Hate Machine by 9 Inch Nails.
Feels like home, baby.
Does.
Well, I really look forward to it. We had such a good time listening to Cam this week. If you want to contribute, tell us your thoughts on this really crazy, funky album, or you just want to chow down with some okra and talk shit, you can reach us at our email,
backwardsbeatspodcast@gmail.com,
or find us on the interwebs
at Backwards Beats Podcast.
And we are so happy to have spoken with you again. I am Carl Carter Fansteel.
I'm Sam Woodard.
We will talk to you next week.
Love you. Bye-bye.
That was a show about the album Ege Bamyasi by the band Can. Holy shit!
Shack Studios in Halethorpe, Maryland.
If you enjoyed the show, make sure to subscribe and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You can find us at Backwards Beats Podcasts on most platforms.
Share the love, and we'll see you next week for another deep dive into the next album on Rolling Stone Magazine's Top 500 list. Until then, salt your melons.